Nostalgia. We love it, we hate it, it's something everyone has. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? We're going to discuss what nostalgia means to us and what I think of nostalgia and how I feel about it. The goods and the bads. Hope everyone's having a lovely day or night. Most nostalgia obviously comes from our, first 10 to 20 years of our life, because a lot of stuff from that time is our first time doing something. Could be the first video game we played, could be the first friends we made and hung out with that, might not be the same today. You might not have that same love for that game or games in general like you did back then. You might not have the same friends as you did back then, or it could be a home you used to live in or an area. Nostalgia can come in many forms, and sometimes it can be really damaging to us. Now, personally in my life, the nostalgia can come across both good and bad. Sometimes I miss when I was younger, the innocence of, not knowing what's really going on in the world, not having to have a job and all these commitments and stuff with family being different and location and just the simplicity of I think being a kid that obviously is never going to come back. When we're younger, we all want to be older, and when we reach our teens and 20s and 30s, whatever you are, we think that being a kid was the best time ever. Less responsibilities. We enjoyed things a lot more than we do now. We just had fun. For me, I find playing Pokemon Emerald for the first time being very nostalgic, as it was my first game and the Game Boy Advance SP being my first console. I received it, I think, when I was 5 or 6. Pokemon Emerald meant everything to me, and it still does. I still have my copy of the game and the Game Boy, and I just remember bringing this thing with me everywhere I went. When my parents would go visit someone, bring my Game Boy. When I'd visit a friend, I'd bring my Game Boy. Visit family, bring my Game Boy. Go on a drive, bring my Game Boy. Or maybe it's that feeling of buying a new Game Boy Advance game and looking at the back of the cover, or some cases we just got the case if it was a second hand. I didn't have a lot of Game Boy Advance SP games actually. It was mainly Pokemon and some Yu-Gi-Oh and Mario games. Now, luckily I still have the same friends and more right now as back then, but definitely having those simpler times with those friends back then is very nostalgic to me. And as much as I enjoyed the moment in that time, I still feel like I could have enjoyed it more. I could have not taken it for granted as much, because it's still different. It's not the same. Playing Pokemon with my friends every weekend, raising our Pokemon, battling each other. You can't tell I like Pokemon a lot, and it was a part of my childhood a lot. Playing sport outside and then just doing those two things on repeat. But we got to realize that those things are all good memories, and they made us who we are today. And we can't just live in the past and wish we were there, because right now in the present, you may not realize it, but we're making memories right now. This very moment, last weekend, next week, you're making memories now that you're going to feel nostalgic for in 10 years. And guess what? If you spend too much time being nostalgic and wishing you're in the past, you're not going to be living right now. You're not going to be in the present, and you're taking for granted the time in your life right now, because you're only ever in the present. You're not in the future. You're not in the past. So yes, it's okay to think fondly of the past and look over good memories and be nostalgic, whether it's listening to a song and looking at photos and having that moment, but be happy that you experienced those great memories. Imagine you hadn't. You would feel a lot worse, right? Please look around you right now, whether it's in a tough or easy situation, you are currently making memories. You're gonna feel nostalgic for this very moment in 5 years, 10 years, more or less. I promise you, you don't want to look back thinking, damn, I just wish I enjoyed that moment then and there, instead of being so hung up and stuck in the past. I know you may miss finishing school and hopping on your PlayStation or Xbox and jumping on Call of Duty with the boys, staying up all night, just not a care in the world of what's really happening. But that time is gone now and you have to accept that. But yeah, I'm not trying to say to not ever be nostalgic, because I'm still nostalgic when I see an old photo or I hear a song or I play a game from a time that, you know, was special. But I try not to get in the loop of wishing I was there and not enjoying or appreciating where I am right now. I hope that makes sense to everyone, and if you are struggling to stay out of the past, just remember you have right now, and I think it's very easy to forget the present. The present is so much more forgettable because we're always looking back, we're always looking ahead in the future, what's next, what's ahead, instead of just taking a step back and just enjoying right now. Because there's something really nice and comforting about being present and not worried about what's ahead, not being down about the past and wishing you were in better times. Nostalgia has its ups and downs, and that's the beauty of it, really. That's enough of me talking about this. I hope you enjoyed or understood or took something from what I said, especially being present. My name's Ash the Kid, and I'll see you on the next one.